Hello, hello, guys. Welcome to Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez, illuminating the world one voice at a time. I'm so excited to be here. Today's guest, we are going to be talking about the craft and just the arts and the craft. He's an amazing musician, amazing talent. He has a wonderful song out right now, which is so much fun to dance to. I keep dancing to it. So Gold Mine. So I'm super excited. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez. And then also on Instagram, Elegant Jacqueline. And also on Twitter. Also, you can find us on podcast sites, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Pocket Casts, and more. So welcome today's guest, Mr. James Worthy. I'm so excited.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing so well. I'm so excited that you're here today. Yay!
Appreciate you having me. Much love.
Yes. I've been looking forward to talking to you all week and a half, something like that.
Awesome.
Yes.
Same here.
Yes. So your single I was mentioning earlier, Gold Mine, has been so much fun. I've done some chair dancing. I've done some pole dancing.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so tell us about your single and tell us about the whole visionary of it and just pretty much how it came forth.
Yeah, basically it was the song that I had about 3 years ago that was just kind of sitting in the vault. And I remember probably about 2 months ago, I was kind of like, what do I have in my catalog that I maybe forgot about or overlooked, and it was one of those songs. So I was like, man, I got to use this for something. And it was just one of those things to where, like, let me just revive it. And I just kind of felt like I needed someone else on the song with me. So Jay Holiday was one of the people that I had in my mind, which we've been friends for a while. So just gave him a call and asked him if he would be interested, and we just made it happen.
Nice. So how long have you been into the industry? Did you always know that you were wanting to sing since you were a young child, or how did it develop?
Well, the interesting part about it is I actually started off as a songwriter. So man, I've been doing music probably since 8, 9 years old.
Oh,
But I didn't really get into the business professionally till probably age 13, 14.
wow.
So around that time, that's when I started getting more into songwriting, figuring out, song structures and arrangements, melodies, lyrical content, all that good stuff, just studying other people and the greats. And then, once I kind of got good at it, that turned into music production. So, I was like, well, I need music to go behind these words now. So that's kind of how I got into forming full songs and, sending them out here and there and getting different opinions and,
Wow.
really focusing on the craft and getting better and better.
Yeah, I love that. And like you said, focusing on the craft, it takes a lot of just, like focus and just being determined on what your vision is that you're wanting to set out there.
Absolutely.
That's very exciting. That's so much talent that you have, so many different roles that you play.
Yeah, it's a lot. People, on the outside looking in, most times they don't understand the work that goes into it, and how much time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears, however you want to put it, goes into the final product. So it takes a lot of work and dedication, but at the end result,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. That's so exciting. And how do you keep yourself still in love with the craft and not get burned out from it?
Well, for me, it just boils down to just having a passion for it and actually loving what you do. I love what I do. I love making music. I love, giving people moments in my music, wherever you are in the world or what you're going through or whatever, I'm talking about in a specific song, that can, do something for somebody. So that's the gratification for me. And, I just genuinely love making music.
Yeah. And I'm such a huge believer in living your life with passion and doing what you want every day, fulfilling and manifesting things and just, having a passionate life.
Absolutely. And it's good for you too. It's more like a therapeutic kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like especially for, songwriters and even musicians, we think of our art as artistic expression, so anytime, I write a song about something, either it's a situation that I've gone through, or I am going through, or someone else similar. So, you
Yeah.
know, sometimes those words being written down and put into song format is therapeutic, just to get it off my mind or get it off my chest and, hopefully inspire somebody else,
Yeah, I love it. And you are such a huge inspiration. And I love the whole, visionary of your image and all of your product, and then just the meaning behind all of your songs. You can definitely feel the passion and the drive behind it, and that you can tell you love it.
Yeah, that's it for me. I'm not always in it for, the notoriety all the time or the numbers or whatever you want to call it. I just want to put out good music and continue to fulfill, my fans and my supporters, with the music that I make. So, that's it.
I love it. Shout out to the fans and supporters.
Thank you guys, man. I love y'all.
I love it. So, how do you keep yourself current?
Keep myself current. Man, just trying to be creative as possible. Like I don't really like I'm not a artist or really just a music guy that listens to the radio all the time or just try to figure out what the hottest thing is or what's the trend. Even though, I mean, sometimes I'll check and see what's going on, but I'm not really one of those who follow other things or other people. Like I've always stayed in my own space, in my own lane. So, I might think something is tight or it's cool, but I'm like, I'm not going to emulate that. I've always kind of had my own thing. So,
Mhm.
that's kind of what keeps me, motivated and creative. Like I'm always trying to think ahead. Like that's always been me. Like I'm a forward thinker. Like I'm always thinking like, okay, what's the new wave of music? How can we change it? How can we develop it? Or how is the music business changing? Throughout these months into the next few years. So
I
that's
love
all.
it. I love it. And it's I feel like a lot of things that happen in our lives drives us to create some of the most beautiful things, and a lot of tragedies and heartaches, definitely for artists, it drives you, and a lot of people can relate with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's important too. Like I think it's important to have that mindset because once you start following other things and other people, it's easy to, you know, get into that and start emulating it and wanting to be like it. And, then you start losing sight of who you are and you
Yeah.
start losing sight of, what you represent or what your brand represents or what your music represents. You know what I mean? So, I always kept that in my mind. I'm like, I can like something, but I got to keep my integrity in what I'm doing.
I love that. I have so much respect for that. It's so hard in the industry to, not get influenced, or to not have someone try to manage your vision and to try to keep you in line with what's current, instead of letting you kind of just flow and follow your own path.
Yeah, it's difficult. It could be tough, when you're dealing with different people and major labels and management and this and that. A
Yeah.
lot of things could be, try to persuade you or, we got this deal on the table and if you do this, you can get that and blah, blah, blah. So it's always that. But, I guess my saying is, everything ain't always good for you. You
Yeah.
know, and I'm always that person who, I don't want to say I'm calculated, but I think about the things that I do and that I want to do. You know what I mean? And if it makes sense, then
Yeah.
try it out. But if it doesn't, then hey, we keep it moving.
I love that. I'm actually going to follow that tip, because I'm a little bit more kind of organic and kind of like all over the place, but I'm trying to really like harness in more and really think ahead of, if I do this, what is going to, come from this.
Like that too. I used to be, kind of all over the place, and I'll just see what happens with that, and I'll just let it flow, blah blah blah. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but also too, I had to realize that it's so many different things that try to get against you.
Mhm.
And, if you don't know what's going on, or if you don't know how to maneuver within those scenarios or those situations, then, you get left behind, or whatever goes. And I just try to eliminate that, as much as I can.
I love that. I love that. So what is a tip that you would give someone who is new, who is wanting to get into the industry and who is in that situation where they're kind of being pulled in different directions, but they really want to stay true to their identity, to their brand, to their label?
Oh man, it's a couple key points with that. For one, you got to know who you are. Number one, as a person, you got to know who you are as a person, because if you don't, how could you move forward into a professional space? Because then you don't know how to conduct yourself. You don't know, what it takes to trigger you when things get in your way, or people get in your way. Because all that can mess up an opportunity or situation very easily. So, knowing yourself is number one. Number two is figuring out who you want to be in the business. So what are you going to bring to the table that sets you apart? What do you represent? What does your brand represent? Is there a meaning behind it? Is there an it factor? Is there something that holds weight for people to remember you by? What is your sound? What is your it's just a whole bunch of things that you got to know, on top of knowing the business, studying the business, and knowing contractual obligations, knowing what ownership really means, knowing what these labels are looking for. All those different things play a major part in actually becoming a staple in the music business.
Wow, there's so many good tips. Oh my gosh, I love it. There you
That's
go.
a lot. That's a lot. And
I
that's what's on the surface. I ain't really get to the deep stuff.
So how was it when you first got discovered and when you really made your name in the music industry? What was that emotion like, and just what was the journey like?
Man, it's so interesting, man. Man, it's so many ups and downs. It's crazy. But interesting enough, and I tell people this all the time, I discovered myself. And what I mean by that is, no one ever gave me anything. No one really gave me opportunities like that. No one really pushed me like that. Like, I was the one who was pushing myself. I was the one that was networking. I was the one that was making relationships. I was the one that was making my own opportunities. And by me making them, it was to the point we made earlier about, following trends and following other people. I never ever did that. So, when in the beginning, of course, I'm sending out songs and beats and different things to different artists that I want to work with, and this and that. And, at some point, either those artists or their representation or the labels would contact me and say, hey, well, we like it, but we need this, we need that because this is hot right now, or we need this sound because it's in right now. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that. So it's difficult to start working with certain people because they wanted one thing. So I'm like, as much as I kept going deeper into the industry, I had a specific sound, and I had a specific way of going about records. And when I started getting the placements, that's what kept me going. So it wasn't like a label gave me an opportunity, or a manager gave me an opportunity, or one specific person. Like, I literally went out and no breaks. Like, I just,
Wow.
hey, I can we work? Can we do this? Can we do that? Boom, boom, boom. And then I just kept going from there. So really, I just kind of put myself on. I was just relentless. Just tried to get as many opportunities as I felt good about as I possibly could.
Woo! I love that story. It's so incredible. And I think that that's why you're just such a genuine, down to earth, just a kind person. And you're so passionate with your music. And you have a huge appreciation for all of the fans and the supporters. And, you're just real.
Yeah, I mean, it's, man, like, people just don't realize how how cutthroat the business can be, you know, how complicated it can be, how wrong it can be. And it's a lot of perks too, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's always going to be roadblocks in the beginning. It's always going to be that hump to get over in the beginning. You know what I mean? That's just that's in any type of business.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, you know, speaking for myself, it was just one of those things to where, like, again, I was a forward thinker. So I'm like, what is my legacy gonna be? What am I gonna be remembered for? Like I'm thinking about this at like age 15, 16. And
Wow.
I'm like, wow, like I'm thinking about this right now, you know, and you know, but I was just always the kid who, you know, loved music. You know, I'm from Queens, New York, you know, so I was around everything and, you know, just soaking up everything and, you know, going to the record stores every weekend and buying albums that I never bought before, I never heard before. And, you know, let me listen to this and let me see how they did this and that. And let me read the credits and see who did what. And let me read the lyrics. And, you know, all these different things kind of molded me into, you know, the person musically that I wanted to be and having, you know, experiences along the way. So, you know, all that just kind of was put in a pot. And, you know, okay, what is the James Worthy sound going to be? When am I going to be in this game?
Oh,
And then that's what it became.
I love it. I love it so much. So who were some of your music inspirations growing up?
Man, I've had so many.
Uh-huh.
But, definitely Houdini,
Okay.
A Tribe Called Quest, um, Q-Tip, Jay Dilla, Nile Rodgers, Chic, uh, Timbaland, Pharrell, Organized Noise, Quincy Jones,
Nice.
Stevie Wonder. Man, it's so many.
Nice. Is there
Yeah.
anyone that you would want to collaborate with in the future?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely Nile Rodgers for sure. I'm a huge Nile Rodgers fan. The Weeknd, I would love to work with The Weeknd.
Yeah.
Frank Ocean, Sia. Um, Man, there's a lot of artists. Erica Badu, Daft Punk. Um, yeah, it's a whole list.
I love it. And you have such a huge range of different styles that you know, are a part of that influence you and that you want to work with too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just a musical guy. You
Yeah.
know, like, I'm just not in one box. You know, like even though you know I'm classified as R&B, you know, my mind goes all over the place. You know, I'm going from house dance music to R&B to pop to, you know, a little bit of rock, of course, hip hop, you know, soul, whatever comes in my head, you know, that's just what comes out, you know.
Yeah, I love it. Is there other instruments that you play?
Well, I play keys, but I play a couple other instruments by ear, so a lot of it is more like rhythmic style. But I do play keys though.
Wow, by ear. Oh my gosh, so much talent.
Yeah, it's pretty. Well, in the beginning, it's pretty difficult, you know, if you're not trained to do it. So, you know, you really got to have a good ear, you know, to, you know, catch the rhythm and catch the tempos and, you know, those type of things. But, you know, the more and more I did it, you know, I got into it. So it was pretty dope.
Right, very cool. How did you come up with the vision of your gold mine video? And what were you trying to portray in your video?
Well, you know, the premise of the song is, of course, you know, giving praise to, you know, our queens and you know, letting you guys know you guys are gold mines and treasures to us. So we just wanted the mood and the aesthetics to kind of match in the video. So you know, it's a simple video, but it's complex in the coloring, the lighting, the mood, and the textures in there. So you know, of course, the young ladies in there are you know, gold painted in there, you know, for a specific texture, and you know, it's just a real sexy R&B king vibe in there, you know. That's
It's
what.
very sexy. It's very sexy. And I love that you said texture because that's exactly what I felt when I was watching it. I was like, ooh, there's so many different senses that are being, you know, alerted here.
Yeah, that was the whole goal. You know, just something you know, sensual, sexy, classy, you know, with a great texture and, you know, straight to the point, you know?
Mhm. And it's so funny because I love purple. I'm obsessed with purple lately, and that's one of my brand colors. And then you have the purple, and then I've been wanting to do a photo shoot where I was painted in gold and doing something like on the pole or something, you know, kind of dancery type stuff. So
That would be
I
amazing.
was like, hey, I'm really drawn to his video and his song.
You could do that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So what other projects do you have coming up for you?
Really right now I'm just focusing on my album. You know, just sitting back, creating the album. This is my debut album that I'm working on. So you know, just creating the best music I can possibly make. In the midst of that, of course, Gold Mine is still going very strong. So we're pushing that single. And I do have a virtual concert that I'm doing very, very soon. So I'll be announcing that really soon. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, you know, I'm just waiting for 2021 to pop up and hopefully this COVID mess would move out the way and, you know, we could start hitting the road and being in front of people again and, you know, keep moving.
Yeah, because when was the last time you were on the road? Was it right before COVID, or did you get a
Yeah,
little?
it was definitely right before COVID. I remember 2019, I was pretty much touring that whole year.
Wow.
And yeah, I remember like as soon as I got off tour, you know, I sat a little bit for about a month. And then once 2020 came, I released my Kaleidoscopes EP in January. And that same month, I had a release event for that project in Atlanta, which was like sold out, packed all over the place. And
Right.
then COVID happened like
Uh,
right after, and it was just like total 360. I'm like, this is crazy.
yeah. How is it being an artist navigating through this whole period of COVID and quarantine?
You know what? It's quite interesting because you know we can't do what we're normally used to doing. You know, we of course we can't tour, we can't go on the road, we can't do those things, go to the radio station, blah blah blah. But you know, I guess for me, it hasn't really stopped my creativity.
Mhm.
You know, I've been fortunate enough to actually write and record more than usual, which is great. So being able to create and just kind of hone in on the craft a little bit more than usual. Have more time to. So that's been cool, and just kind of staying out the way and learning my more of my strengths and just gearing up for the next year.
Nice. That's so exciting. I
Yeah, man.
love it. So that means lots of stuff is going to be coming up next year for you.
Yeah. Next year is gonna be a big year. It's I've been calling it my come out year, I would say.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because, and I'm a realist. So, I'm never gonna be the person to, sugarcoat stuff and be like, hey, I've been a solo artist for 5, 10 years. Like, no, like literally I've been a solo artist for 2 years.
Wow.
To the general public, they wouldn't think that, because I'm just consistent and, I do a lot of stuff. So you would think that I've been, in that realm for more than 2 years. But no, I've been in the solo game 2 years. 2017, I was actually in a group for a short period of time. So that was my introduction. I'm coming from the group and then going as a solo artist. So yeah, it's just a growth time. So 2021 is going to be the come out year for making that official stamp as the solo artist with the debut album.
Wow, that's so exciting. Congrats going from a group to solo. That's definitely a different transition and a whole new career path for sure.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting story. Even being in the group, I remember like we only put out one single, which is crazy. We
Uh-huh.
put out one single, and that one single went top 10 on Billboard.
Wow.
That's my very ever first song as an artist, you know, being as an artist on a song, and doing that those type of accolades. So, you know, that being the introduction, you know, as a brand new act, you know, that's, to me, that was kind of dope.
Yeah, that's very dope. I
And
love it.
get into the solo realm and having success very early on, even with that, without a debut album, you know, just with 2 EPs, you know, it's I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. Congrats. And it just shows at how driven you were and how passionate you were and how you really worked hard and believed in yourself and really pushed through all of the struggles that you went through to get, you know, make your ground and make your name known.
Yeah, and it's not easy too, you know, especially coming from, you know, the songwriting and production world. You know, it's not always easy to come from that and transition into, you know, a full length solo artist. So, you know, I mean, I'm never gonna tell somebody that, you know, don't try this at home. But you know, you got to think about it, and you got to be strategic about it, and you know how to move with that. So, you know, that's basically what I did. You know, I had so much experience with other major artists and being around and knowing how to do things and soaking up all that information. You know, it was really a smooth transition.
Wow, that's so cool. And I love that you said like you're around certain people. And I feel so strongly right now that to be surrounded around positive, uplifting people that are doing something
Yeah.
and that want to grow and move forward and that want to manifest incredible things and inspire, you know, the world.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's my whole thing. Like, I just love inspiring people. You know, like, I love to see the passion and the gratification in someone, you know, once, you know, and it's not even really about what I can give them or offer them. Like, you know, I don't need any credit if I'm giving you information that you should know, or, you know, what's already out there. You're like, you know, because there's so much to know.
Yeah.
And I just love giving information. You know, I think that's important. Information is power.
I love it. It's so true. Knowledge is power. And I feel like you do not have to dim someone else's light to shine. You know, why can't we all help each other shine and all make this place a better place?
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
it. What is it that you want to be remembered for?
What do I want to be remembered for? Just really being someone that pioneered something in the music business. And what I mean by that is ownership, creativity, and fairness in the business. Because, you know, there's a lot of creatives that get taken advantage of. There's a lot of creatives who don't know how to move forward because they've been done wrong so many times. And a part of that is because a lot of them don't own their music, their rights to their catalogs, you know, whether it's music, visuals, merchandise, whatever it is. You know, a lot of times they don't have rights to it. You know what I mean? And you know, that's not a good thing. So, you know, aside from, you know, continuing to put out great music for people, you know, to withstand the test of time, you know, quote unquote. Um, yeah, that's my whole thing, is just, you know, just pioneering something that's bigger than me in the business.
I love it. And you already are. You're such a huge inspiration and you're so creative and your passion shows and the love for the craft is so huge. It shows. And you are a huge pioneer. You have incredible visuals. You have incredible graphics. Your whole sound is so unique and it's just so easy to listen to and to move to and to feel something to.
Yeah, I mean, that's what music is. Music is feeling.
Yeah.
Music is expression. Music is all of those emotions that are in you. Like a song can bring anything out of you. You know, that's the beauty of music. So that's my whole thing. You know, just, you know, whatever you feeling, hopefully I can put it in the song for you.
Ah, yes. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And you
No,
are
thank you
illuminating the world. And I'm so excited to be part of your world now.
so much. I appreciate you for having me and being a part of my journey. and you know, we're gonna keep it moving.
Yes, of course, of course. Well, I will definitely keep watching you and all of your stuff that you're doing and dancing to it. And so excited to see your journey and so excited for next year for you, 2021.
So much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
Bye. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so excited that you're here with us. So follow us on YouTube, Elegant Conversation with Jacqueline Valdez, and also on Facebook. So thank you. We had today James Worthy, and take care. Thank you guys.